Hey, it's Dave Greenwood, author of the book Overcoming Distractions, and this is the podcast. And if you're watching it, then you're on our video blog on YouTube, and welcome to another edition. I am here with a good friend from Danville, California, Greg McDaniel. He's a real estate professional. He's got 17 years in the business. He's an ADHD kid like myself. Let me give you a little bit of background on Greg. He's the head trainer at J. Rockcliffe Real Estate. He is a partner with McDaniel Callahan Real Estate. He is the host of Real Estate Uncensored, so he is no stranger to podcasting and videos. 17 years in the business, and he loves cold calling. So I don't know what the deal is with that, but welcome, Greg, and welcome to the show.
Hey, David, it's such a pleasure and an honor to be here. I really appreciate you inviting me on, and I really appreciate what you did and your interview for the book. And I hope that it helps a lot of people, because we covered a lot of really cool, interesting, tactical things, mental things, psychological things that we're going to go over here in the show today. But I mean, what you're doing for the folks that are ADHD, I think, is truly impactful, because you're not only saying, hey, look, guys, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. Okay. It's just, you need to learn how to work differently. In our school systems, the way it's set up, ADHD, ADD, or dyslexia are deemed as, deficiencies. In reality, a majority of the multi-billionaires are ADHD, ADD, or dyslexic. So when you guys are thinking, oh, well, I'm just stupid and I'm different and nobody likes me, well, you're looking at it wrong. Do a little research and look into this. Read this book. Okay. And you'll see, my past, we'll cover that here shortly, talk about some of the goals and everything else that I put in, my routines that I stick to on a daily basis, and what the consequences are if I don't stick to them. So I love it. I love the book, man. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you for your kind words. I mean, as when I talked to you back several months ago about doing the book, I said I wanted to focus on the positives, and I know there's negatives of ADHD, and we need to deal with that, but I wanted to focus on the positives. I also wanted to kind of construct a street smart approach to managing ADHD. I mean, in every industry, there's hacks, or there's this, or trick your brain, or, I mean, in my opinion, and I think you follow this as well in your life, is that, it just comes down to street smart tactics. And I think you'd agree with me that, and again, talking with you, that's kind of what you do, correct?
Yeah, well, 100%. I mean, I never finished college. I barely got out of high school. And so I've learned everything from reading, watching shows, listening to books, because I'm dyslexic as well, so I listen to books. But it is about street smarts, understanding what's the what, and where to go, what not to do. And, if you can identify that you do have ADHD and you understand what distracts you and what is a good environment to work in, what is a bad environment to work in, what kind of people to be around, what kind of people not to be around, then you'll see a progression in your success when it comes to finishing, tasks or conversations or anything else. So absolutely agree with you on the street smarts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I think has gotten me through. I mean, I'm 50 now, so it's kind of gotten me through those years of, again, not just tricking my brain, but just, living a healthy lifestyle and exercising and what have you. But talk to me about it's not like talking to me about your childhood.
Here's your Chase Lounge. Now talk to me, sir.
It's like one of those
soothing music on.
Dr. Root things, or Freud thing. But, talk to me just about kind of growing up in school. Again, some of us wandered the halls and had no idea where we were going. Others did well and maybe weren't flagged till an adult, but I think you kind of have an interesting story of your, elementary schooling and what have you. So talk to us about that.
Sure, not a problem. So when I was growing up, I was born in '78, and so when I originally was getting into the elementary school, they thought I may have had a brain tumor because I wasn't picking up on stuff. I was all over the place. I couldn't read. And everything else. So the doctors did CAT scans on me, MRIs. They put me through the works, right? Then they gave me so many pills. I mean, I was like a pincushion for pill testing. I mean, does this one keep them up? Does this one keep them down? Does this last long enough? Blah, 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 whatever, right? Finally, we found a Ritalin. Was it Ritalin at that time? Yeah, Ritalin at that time that helped me focus in and zero down. But then I had to go and I had to actually, leave normal school, because I was in the resource class most of the time being worked on because I couldn't get my stuff straightened out. Then I had to go to a special school to learn how to read for my dyslexia. Then I came back and I went to a normal junior high for a little while and a normal high school. But for me, learning was very difficult, and I have now found what works well for me, and I just stick to it. But when I was growing up, I had no way of knowing. So if you think that you might be ADHD, if you think that you know a kid or your child or a spouse or a friend or someone else, it's not an uncomfortable conversation, especially it wasn't for me. It was just like, hey, Greg, you're not bad. It's not a horrible thing. It's not a deficiency. It's just different, and different's okay. So have a conversation with someone, but it was great that I had a good support system around me. Otherwise, I could have gone a different direction.
Well, yeah, and I think that is the I think maybe the gist is the wrong word, but the gist of it is we learn differently. I think I didn't graduate college either. It just I went in and out 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, you know what, forget it.
Forget this, I'm gone.
Forget it. You know what, I'm not going to make anybody happy. So,
but the good thing is I did get a PhD, and that's a public high school diploma.
And look where you are now.
I know.
I mean, I swear, one of my next books is going to be about people who, didn't finish high school or, It'd
be an interesting book because you know what? The C students are owning the companies that the A students are working at. So.
Yeah. So, but I think as we discussed this, there's the kids that just didn't get identified right off the bat. They were frustrated, and the frustration came from not being able to absorb the way they were being taught. Is that kind of the way you felt your education was going?
100%. I mean, my education, it was an uphill battle every single day. But my favorite part of the day was being out socializing, hanging out with my friends, doing the sports, those types of things, because they didn't require for me to stay in a certain grid because I couldn't understand that grid. Then once I understood what I needed to do, then I started learning how to cope with it. But yeah, it was very frustrating, probably both for my parents, for myself, probably for some of my friends that are still close to me, watching me. Actually, my best friend, I met him when we were in junior high, and I was on his dad's soccer team, and his dad goes, "Hey, Lonnie, go hang out with that guy over there, the tall one. He's a little spastic, so try to keep up with him." And because spastic, and because I would just be like running one place and going another place, and I was just all over the place, right? And so then Lonnie and I became best friends and have been ever since. But you know what? He was very understanding to it, and he was one of the guys that I could lean on in a hey, Lonnie, what does this word say? Or he'd rein me in, like, hey, dude, stop being so all over the place, man. Just chill. I'm like, oh, okay. It was really good to have close friends like that.
Yeah. But you were always kind of a social person or a well-spoken person?
Well-spoken? Who said that?
Well,
no, yeah, social, yes, because I find joy in being around people. I like seeing what's going on with them. I like getting into trouble. That's why I do the 2 different podcasts. That's why I work in real estate, and do all this training and stuff. It's because I want to see them succeed. And a lot of it is for like what you're doing with this book. You're giving back to the universe and the community. I'm doing the same thing in my life. I'm giving back because everything will come to me in return. And I've learned that through a lot of hard knocks. And if you're going through hard knocks right now, this is what I tell the people that I train and coach. Look, it's okay for you to go through this hard time right now. It's actually imperative that you go through this hard time right now, because when you make it through, this is your story. You're writing your story of success, because nothing that's going to last for a long period of time, like your intelligence, like your family, like your social skills, can be just made out of jelly. So we're taking that jelly and we're hardening it down to a very hard substance that's going to last the test of time. So enjoy it, relish it in a very sick way. Enjoy it and relish it, but know that things are going to get better.
No, and I think you're right. I think, and I was having a conversation with somebody else for one of these shows, and I think we've gotten away, and maybe it's not in every state or every school system, but we have gotten away from letting kids fail. Like I know out here, at least in my community, they don't hold kids back. And I'm no educator, as we just talked about. I mean, I went to school for welding, so I'm certainly not an expert in this. But they have explained to me that they don't hold kids back because it is too detrimental to their growth, and maybe there's something to it. I don't have a PhD like you do.
That's BS. I got to tell you right now, I am fearful of the world where we have a president or leaders that grew up in the era where everybody gets a trophy. That's BS, man. You have got to learn that, life is not going to give you everything. You got to hustle and grind for this. I mean, I wanted certain things in my life. I have hustled and grinded day in and day out. But you know what? 'Cause I didn't get the trophy. I lost. I've seen more failure in business and in other aspects of my life, but I picked myself up, dust myself off, and I went back out and tried it again.
Yep.
That's what people need to learn. And, if I am scared of that universe when everybody's like, oh, I'm deserving of this. No, you're not. And with ADHD and dyslexia and ADD and everything else, but guys, you just learn differently. So if someone says you're dumb, you're stupid, you can't get it, pay attention, blah, 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 just understand that they're speaking to you through their weaknesses and their faults. They're speaking their truths, not your truths. So if you want it bad enough, you can get it without a doubt.
So you've been in real estate 17 years, and you kind of went through some tough times and clawed your way back. Can you talk about that? So kind of what you went through and how you clawed your way back?
Yeah, not a problem. So I got into real estate right out of college, fat, hairy, drinking all the time, working in a warehouse. I think they created a job at the bottom and then they knocked it down one more notch and made me a job. I was like the grunt's grunt. And I thought it was great, man. I was like, sweet, my buddies in a warehouse, working with degenerates and weirdos. But my dad's been in real estate for 44 years, and so he prodded me, and I got into business with him. I got into it. I made so much money in such a short amount of time, and I was 21, 22 years old. I owned multi-million-dollar homes. I owned 2 different cars. I was taking trips for $10,000-$15,000 for 2 weeks over to Europe, not even thinking about it. $1,000 dinners on a Wednesday because the day ended in Y. I was a pompous dick, to be really blunt with you. And then 2008 happened, the crash happened, and I lost everything. I lost my houses. I lost my cars. I lost friends. I lost the woman I was dating, and I went down to. I went through bankruptcy. I went through foreclosure. I went down to literally $35 to my name. $35. I was scared to death. I was sitting in my bed, freaking out, and I had a decision. I had a choice right then. Am I going to let this thing beat me? Or am I going to stand up and am I going to fight back? I got up that next morning. I did something I've never done before. I got up and put a dress shirt on, a tie, which I had to borrow from my father, by the way. And it was one of his original ties because I didn't have one. Slacks on, some dress shoes, and I went out 7 days a week, hustling, grinding, calling, door knocking. Calling by hand through our database system, door knocking in different areas around just sold properties or just, properties are coming on the market 7 days a week. I would do 50 to 100 doors a day, come back and do calls. And I just never stopped, and I then could afford a triple line dialer. So now I can do 3 lines at a time. I do it now every day. I make over 200 phone calls every hour, when I'm doing it. It's highly effective for me. And I came back and people started paying attention to me because they used to pick on me here in the office. They would say, because I'm 6'5", a couple of the guys here in the office that are older, they would call me Stretch. Hey Stretch, I'm like, bite me. And you know what? They don't call me Stretch anymore. They say, oh, Greg, hey, Greg, I got a question for you. Do you think you could help me with it? Now, it would never have happened if I didn't make that decision that night to get up and fight back. And that's what you guys need to do. I mean, whatever scenario that is for you, you have that decision. And it's okay, whatever decision you make. You can either let it beat you, and that's okay. Maybe you're not meant to do what you're doing. That's okay. Or you can fight with everything inside of you. So make a decision, but stick to it and be willing to go through the fire, because you're going to go through some really rough times, really rough times. If you're okay with that, move forward. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I don't care how dark you think it is right now.
Yeah, no, and it can only make you a better person. So
it can only make you a better person. And the opportunities that have abounded from me making that decision, like I said, I have 2 podcasts. One, Real Estate Uncensored, which is uncensored. If you guys watch it, don't let kids listen to it, okay? But the other one's called Pursuing Results, and we interview people about a book that they read that changed their life. I have a new product that we're coming out with that's going to revolutionize an aspect of the real estate industry that has been broken for decades. I'm partnering with people all over the country that are high level individuals, and they would never have given me the time of day without me making that decision. If I chose to stay in that warehouse, I would not be talking to you guys. David, you and I would not have connected. You know, 1,000 things would have changed, or a billion of things would have changed in my life from one decision. So that's one of the most powerful things I've ever experienced.
And as they say, sometimes one decision makes all the difference in the world. So
it really does. It truly does.
Yeah. So you, when we talked back several months ago, you talked about the importance of having a routine, especially in the morning. So why don't you kind of run me through your routine in the morning, how important it is to make sure that you can kind of crank out and kick a little ass for the rest of the day.
Okay, yeah, not a problem. So Monday through Friday, guys, sometimes I take Monday off, I'll be honest. But I get up, I'm up at like 4:45-ish, because my body just pops up, but definitely by 5. I sit there, rub my eyes for a few minutes, throw the news on, watch what's happening. But then I do this. Right when my eyes open and I can have a half a thought, I say this: today's going to be an amazing day. Then I wake up a little bit and I say, today's going to be an amazing day. And then I swing my legs out of the bed right before they touch. I say, today is going to be an amazing day, with power. Get up. I feed my 2 furry bastards, my cats, which these 2 idiots are so awesome, by the way. And I love dogs too. Don't categorize me as a cat guy. But, I feed the cats. I get myself dressed. I head to the gym. I'm out the door. I'm in my car heading to the gym by 5:30, 5:25, 5:30. I'm on my warm-up machine at 5:40. I wait till 5:55. Then I go into a class. I go until 7 there. I come out of the class, go to my house. I get cleaned up at my house there. I go through, I review my goals, my dreams. Like I have my dream book that I carry around here of different aspects. I review that. I carry multiple copies of those around with me. If I'm kind of feeling it, I do some meridian tapping, some energy releasing, some meditating for a few minutes, get a bite to eat, and I'm out the door by 8 o'clock, 8:15. In the office no later than 8:45, depending on traffic. And then I start my lead follow-up, my lead follow-up, my cleaning up my emails, and I kind of just do busy work here. At around 10 o'clock, if I'm not training up for my brokerage, which that starts at 9 on Mondays and 11 on Wednesdays, then I'm here working with my team. We have a new team member, getting her on the dialer, me doing what I need to do. But I have certain things blocked in, and they're unmovables. And then I do my podcasts on Monday and Wednesday at 3, or at 2, and then at 3, and then Fridays at 11, and then 2. And then I go on broker's tours on Thursdays and or Tuesdays, but I stick to the routines. I come home, and then I do a free coaching call with someone around the world at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that runs for an hour to an hour and a half. Then after that, I usually sit there and do some more additional email follow-up or reaching out to people or something like that. In the week, like 9-ish, I finally say, you know what, that's it, I'm done, and I take myself to bed somewhere around 10 o'clock. And I redo that every single day. And the weekends, much more laxed. I need my time to sleep. Like when this is being recorded, we just had a holiday Was it last weekend? Yeah, last weekend. And since I pushed so hard, I gave myself the ability to sleep. So I passed out for 2 days. I just went face down on the couch and just napped it out.
That
And it's
sounds like
important
a
to
dream.
Oh my God, dude. It was so awesome. I got hooked into a TV show, binge watched it, got all the way through the entire show. So it was something that could recharge my batteries, and that's something that you need to do. ADHD, ADD, dyslexic, anyone, you need your downtime. It's okay to be down, not like depressed, but give yourself time to relax and reboot. It's
yeah.
You have to do that.
Yeah, I have to get a good night's sleep. I have to. My wife can go to bed at midnight and get up at 5, or she can pull an all-nighter sometimes, or I need my 8 hours, or I'm just a mess.
Yeah, and see that's what works for you. Like I can get less from me, and it's okay, because then I'll give myself on the weekend some downtime, and I'll just pass it straight out, and be able to bounce back on Mondays. But you're more steady. So I love it. There's two totally different viewpoints on this, but it works for both of us.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think that's kind of the theme, is what works for you. How, for people with, listening, watching with ADHD or not, I mean, how important is it to have a routine when you're, an entrepreneur, you're in business?
It's essential. You don't have a routine, you're not going to get anywhere. You're like a boat without a rudder. You can put this thing in gear and you're just going to do circles and run into shit all day long. So, you stick to your schedule. It is your life. Like my schedule, I do not deviate from my schedule at all. Under no excuse. I mean, if it's not in the schedule, then I fill it with something I need to get done on another list I have. But the unmovables are in my Google Calendar, and they're even color coded for the importance or what that action is going to be. And then I sit down to the second of making it happen in my life, because I've found that when I do these types of actions, I see tremendous rewards, because then I'm accountable. Then I can't be all ADHD and go running around with my hair on fire. I've got to buckle down, because I made this a priority in my life. And, it was hard for me to do that, because I'm like, I don't want to be tied down by a calendar. Well, no one gives a shit. What you want, you just need to do it. I mean, are you going to get the job that you want? Are you going to get the guy or gal that you want to marry or date or whatever else, if you're not methodical about how you're going to approach the individual? If you show up to looking at a hot chick, and you just jumped out of bed, your breath stinks, you're wearing pajamas, and your hair standing straight up, dude, you ain't going to meet her.
You got no shot.
You got no shot, unless she's a total weirdo. She's like, I like sleepy guys who don't do anything with their lives. You're like, perfect. But
I'm your man.
Yeah, hey baby, what's up? But majority of the times you need to go get dressed, clean up, brush your hair, brush your teeth, put maybe some cologne on, definitely deodorant, you stinky SOB. Then you need to go up and not be like a raving lunatic, hey, I love you. Want to get married? That's going to scare them off. Again, not a good scheduled activity. But play your cards right, and this is in life or in dating or anything else. You know what? The end results, it's mathematically and scientifically proven that if you do it enough times, you're going to get the result. That's it.
Yep, that's true. So this is kind of a good jumping off point for goals. I know you are incredibly passionate about goal setting. And bringing it one step further, visual goals. And I love that about you. We put that in the book, but talk about how you set your goals, how you review your goals, how you visually see them. Kind of walk us through that.
Sure. So I go through these different categories in life. So I do financial goals. I do business and career achievements. I do fun and recreation. I do health and fitness. I do relationships, personal growth and education, giving back to the world. So those are my goal categories that I go in, and then I take us and I just, let's see here, like financial goals. I mean, here's some piles of cash, right? What I'm doing is I'm making myself unafraid to look at it, but it also set high goals. And I go back and I review them there's a couple of guys, there's a guy named Jeff Latham up out of the Pacific Northwest, and this dude's crazy. about his goals to the point like he has an app on his phone that it reminds him every hour on the hour to pull out his goals, review his goals. He achieves more stuff in a shorter amount of time because, like, remember the boat analogy? He's a boat with a rudder and a captain and a crew. They are going exactly where they're going to be going. I mean, you have to review it on a consistent basis because I'm going to another analogy. If you got on a plane in Los Angeles and you were 3 degrees off and you were flying to New York, you would end up thousands of miles off because you weren't paying attention every so often to make sure you're on track. I also set a goal. By the way, I have my goals right there that I have pinned up, and I see them all the time. I see them; they're right. I can't miss them; they're right there. I also have something I have written in my shower in lipstick, and I heard about this at a real estate convention from one of the CTO of Zillow.
Just to let you know, that sounds kind of creepy, but go on.
Oh God, no! I know that's why I'm explaining this. A backstory.
Listen to Greg, people. Listen to Greg.
Yeah, he's not weird with lipstick in his bathroom. Trust me. No, so the CTO said that he went and borrowed lipstick from his wife, and he wrote what he calls a BHAG. And I'm like, what the hell is a BHAG? Well, it stands for big, hairy, audacious goal. Now, this, guys, it needs to physically make you either sick or scared or just panicky. It needs to be so lofty that everyone around you thinks you're absolutely nuts, okay? And so his was to achieve a timeline on a project they were doing. He wrote it. He read it every morning in the shower, and he hit it. He beat it by like 4 months. So he achieved it. I'm like, well, if that dude can do it, I can do it. So I went down and bought lipstick, which is a very awkward conversation with the counter chick. I'm like, is this a good shade of red? She's like, I don't know. So I go in there and I wrote, my BHAG is this. Now, guys, I have no idea how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to go for it every day. And I'll tell you about the other one I have in my shower as well. It says this: I, Greg McDaniel, currently have a net worth of more than $650 million and have more than $100 million in liquid cash at all times. How the hell am I going to get a net worth of $650 million? I don't know. But some of the things that are being put into place right now, some of these products I'm bringing out, they legitimately have the opportunity or potential to get me to that amount of money. Unbelievable. And these different opportunities that are opening up. I didn't write this, but I say this every morning to myself. And this is coming true, by the way. This is what I say. I, Greg McDaniel, own and star in an award-winning, chart-topping, break-out-of-the-box success podcast, radio show, and TV show that inspires, educates, and entertains tens of millions of people on a monthly basis to achieve the goals and dreams of their lives. My annual income is $50 million. And I actually write the dollar sign, and then I write out the $50 million on my wall. I know that it's out there. I believe that it's out there 1,000%. But I'm just on my path to get there now. But everything I'm doing is zeroed in. I am a ship with a rudder. I know exactly where I'm going. I have seen things, and this will scare you a little bit. I have seen things happen in my life with my dreams. I've been single for a long period of time. So, I don't know what I am right now as of this recording, I gotta tell you. But I'm a dude, right? And so I want like a plickety-plow female body, big old boobs, nice little butt, thin little waist, nice legs, the whole thing, right? But there was no head on this image. I'm like, well, that's a great image. There's no head on it. So I went and grabbed a hot chick's head, put it on, and it's in my book, right? The girl that I'm talking to right now is a carbon copy of everything in there, including, this is the scary part, her hairstyle and color of eyes. And she lives on the other side of the country from me. There's no way I could ever have met her. And she meets all the qualifications of all the aspects and qualities I wanted in her down to a T. That is scary stuff right there. I also wrote in my goals in 2014, I said, I want to drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8 years 2012 or newer. I didn't say own, guys. I said drive. December 19th of 2014, I was shooting a pilot for a TV show. And one of the aspects was that I had to go drive a Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8. I changed the words to own or everything else, but I never qualified of who owned it next year. I have a picture of a Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8 white with chrome rims sitting right up there with red brake pads. My business partner bought the damn thing. So you have to be specific about your goals. You have to be, leave nothing to chance and write them as if they have already been accomplished. I enjoy driving down the road in my brand new Mercedes S550 with the wind in my hair, the smell of fresh leather, in my nose, cranking the radio, the FM to AC/DC's, Thunderstruck, whatever. But you see how that, my tan leather, my white exterior, my 22-inch rims, chrome with my tinted black windows. I just painted a picture for your subconscious. If you can paint a picture for your subconscious, that's where the true power is, because you have your conscious and subconscious. Subconscious never shuts off. Your conscious does. But as long as you can paint a better picture with your goals and dreams in here, all of a sudden down the road, you have to be passionate about it and put, genuine gratitude towards it. Your subconscious will all of a sudden go, well, shoot, David, I like this reality over here. Let's go get that a reality for you.
Yeah.
It's happened
to goals just because you're addicted to setting goals. You're setting goals because of why? Because
I've seen them come true. I've seen things happen that could never, ever happen in my life, for this. Like the first time this ever happened, okay? I was listening to an interview with Will Smith. And he's not just a good actor, guys. Will Smith is incredibly intelligent and passionate, but there's a compilation of different interviews he was talking about. And he said, look, you just have to decide. Just make a decision and decide about what it's going to do. And the universe is going to get out of your way. So I said that I was sitting actually in this chair and I was watching him say that. And I'm like, okay, what do I want to decide? Okay. I'm going to be on a TV. I'm going to be on a TV show. I have no connections to a TV show, by the way. All right. That weekend, I got an email from a guy named Rob Black, who runs a wildly successful finance and real estate show on a large radio news station here in the San Francisco Bay Area called Cron 4. And so he randomly hit me up and said, hey, Greg, sorry it's been so long since we've talked. Would you like to come on my TV show? And I talked to my girlfriend at the time, like, babe, you're not going to believe this. Went on to 7 minutes of live air. Scariest time of my life, by the way. I nearly blacked out and fell off the stool. But
it was scary in the beginning. Then you get it
was so scary. But it was something I set, and it came true. So I'm like, okay, what else can I go and set and see if they come true? So that's why I'm so passionate about it. If you couldn't tell, because it's, and this is the reason why. If I can say, David, I'm going to give you 95% of everything you've ever wanted, and there's only one action you have to take, and it's 100% free, would you do it?
Well, absolutely. I think where those with ADHD run into trouble is making that decision. We actually have decision fatigue sometimes. So we want to do this, but no, maybe this is easier. Maybe we want to go work in this, but you know what? This part of that job sucks, or, and then you end up never making a decision, which is hard for people to with ADHD to get over that decision fatigue.
Yeah, it's the shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, look at this. Ooh, look at that. Oh, look at that. But if you write it down, that's why you need to write them down, guys, because if you get them out of your head and you put them onto paper, they become real now. They're not just a figment of your imagination. They become real, and now you can grow off of them. 10 minutes a day to do this, to review your goals and feel thankful about them already coming true, and then move on with the rest of your day. Anybody can do that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. You're gonna wake up when you're 80 and regret that you didn't do something.
Yeah,
and that's one of my biggest fears. Is I'm gonna look back and I'll be sitting on the porch and, well, I really should have wrote that book, or I really should have done this. Now's the time. It doesn't matter how old you are.
It does not matter how old you are. I'll give you an idea of how ballsy I am with following these dreams and goals. So remember the hot chick that I talked about in my book? She lives in Florida. Never met her before. And I so believe to the fact that this is like it was supposed to be. I got on a plane, flew to Florida, never met her before, met her for the first time at the airport. She and I got along fabulously, and she's even more than I could ever imagine. And what if I sat on that porch when I was 90? And I said, God, I wonder what would have happened if I had just gotten on that plane that day.
So it's
You never
amazing
know.
you don't have a restraining order against you.
No kidding, right? I think that would be healthy for a large part of the United States. Oh man, no. But it's just grabbing life by the balls, and just making the hard decisions and just doing them. What's the worst case? I mean, okay, sometimes if you could die from it, maybe don't do that. But the majority of the time, you're not going to get killed with making some of these decisions.
Right. You can only learn from mistakes or things that have turned out not to be mistakes, and you don't know until you, like you say, you put those routines in place, you set your goals, you become passionate about something. And people, it's funny, there's some people that said, oh, I outgrew my ADHD. First of all, you don't outgrow it. Maybe you found something that you were so passionate about that hit that piece of your brain that made your ADHD symptoms go away. And I think that's the case a lot with adults, is they find something that they fell in love with, they were passionate about, it feeds their brain, and they think they don't have ADHD anymore. So
no, I'm 100% behind you on that one. I mean, for myself, it's podcasting and coaching and training and that kind of a thing. It's a super passion for me, and even to the point where I'm not even taking my Adderall anymore. I haven't found the need for it, because I'm so laser focused on these different goals and dreams that I have. I mean, if I probably didn't do the podcasts and stuff like that, I would probably definitely be still taking the Adderall. But I mean, yeah, find your passion, man. Just move forward, and it will change your life.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think there'll be people out there that might listen to this or see some of the other advice in the book and go, yeah, that's easy for you to say. But I think you just take some time to just take a step back, look at your life, find what you're passionate about, give it a shot. Like you say, what do you got to lose? You got nothing to lose. ADHD is not a death sentence. It's not a curse. Find out what you're good at. Push off those weaknesses. Like, I hate my accounting.
So, it's horrible.
I mean, things like that. I hate my paperwork. I literally have the proverbial shoebox of receipts. I mean, but I save my energy for what I like. And that's what you have to do when you're making a decision in terms of finding what you're good at. So
100%. I mean, like, my real estate contracts, my paperwork, all that stuff is done by my team manager for me. I literally don't touch them anymore. She does everything. She loves it. She would die if she had to be on a camera or do prospecting or anything like that. That's what I thrive at. So you find the person, your yin to your yang, and you'll explode. If I have to do like a market analysis for a property, I'm like, give me 2 minutes and I'm dead asleep. My other partner loves it. He loves it. He'll sit there and just grind them out. So I mean,
it's all you. Have at it.
There you go, buddy. Yeah, there you go. Just give me the numbers back. I'll go meet with the clients at the end of the day.
Have at it. So tell people how they can reach you, how they can hear your podcast, YouTube. You say you do coaching calls. Run through how people can find you.
Okay. One of the easiest ways, guys, is unfortunately, Facebook will only give you 5,000 friends. So go follow me, Greg McDaniel, in Walnut Creek, California. I'm wearing a suit, and as of this is recorded, I'm wearing a suit for a modeling shoot I did. That's my profile photo, probably going to change. Go follow me there, so you'll see my Facebook Lives. I go Facebook Live at least once a day minimum. You'll see a lot of great content there, kind of get to know me and what I do. My podcast is called Real Estate Uncensored. You can go listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher. You can also go watch us on YouTube. My co-host Matt and I do Google Hangouts, and we are on YouTube at McDaniel Real Estate Systems. So go, watch and follow the channel there. Also, let's go old school. I mean, you can call me or text me on my cell phone. It's 925-915-1978. Again, 925-915-1978, guys. Let me be a resource for you. If there's anything I can do to help you, I'm here.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for taking the time here. Thank you for telling your story in the book. I want to help people like you do. Like we said, show them that ADHD is not a curse. So I hope this is all going to do it. So
it will. And here's another last little thing for you guys. My father, I think, is ADHD, and he's one of the most successful real estate agents I've ever known, and more respected here in the area. But he found a reason and how to rein it in. And by the way, that's the McDaniel Callahan real estate team. If you want to look us up there at 925-838-4300.
cool. All right, my friend, we'll be talking soon. And,
all right, I look forward to it.
Thanks so much for being a part of this.
David, it's an absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you for the invite.
Cool. Thanks. All right.